This episode of the Blerd Mob contains explicit language. While we want everyone to enjoy the show, sometimes we may say things that are not appropriate for all ages. So, in other words, Mom, Dad, Granny, we cussing. Discretion is advised.
he said, you don't talk. You say something like, yippee, woohoo. and that's the only piece of audio.
King G, Gross Side, ENT. Rock with it, rock with it, rock with it, rock with it. Let me pop my shit. Let me pop my shit. Hands up.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Blerd Mob, your hub for all things black and nerdy. I am your host, Phoop, joined by my two co-hosts, Ryun and Ralph. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other streaming service, make sure you hit that follow button so you can get updates from the mob.
And if you lovely people are out there watching us on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications for future uploads.
We ain't getting no subscribers from the last time you did that, Ryan, so I'm gonna need you to
Yes,
step
we
it
did.
up.
You capping. I was the subscriber list. We have been getting... I'm finna check right now.
No, please.
Cap.
Jesus.
Cap.
But we have a special guest today. We have comedian, streamer, and as on his Instagram, Blerdy mastermind, Twisted Journey. So what's up, Twisted Journey?
It's good. Good to be here.
So to get the conversation started, we are officially stepping into October, which is spooky season. So last night, I went to go see the scary movie Smile. And it was okay. I'm not here to put out any spoilers. What I want to know from all three of you guys is what scary movie, like, effed y'all up? Like, y'all watching and made y'all question reality. You didn't want to go to bed at night. Like, what scary movie effed y'all up?
Insidious.
I'm scared every time you call me.
So I'm the scary movie.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You're top tier, but you know, Insidious. Insidious is the only scary movie that actually really scared me. So I grew up on scary movies.
Really? Insidious?
That's the only one. Like, I watched all the Jasons, Elm Streets, Halloweens.
I don't know.
Was you about to
say, yeah, you just stopped.
Jeepers Creepers was
funny.
Just stop talking.
Jeepers Creepers was funny.
It was.
Like, it was
scary.
scary.
Funny.
The only scary scene
it wasn't really that
I
scary
remember.
I gotta say it. Not
was
the
scary
current, not the current one. Like,
I was
like
the
back
first
then.
The
like
old school
older,
one.
yeah, older. Yeah.
Okay.
When I was younger. Yeah.
Old school clowns are creepy. The way they used to dress clowns back in the 80s, that stuff is scary. The movie for me that like completely effed me up would have to be that scary movie Mirrors. The ones when the demons is, to put it short, there's demons in the mirrors. So any reflection, I won't even say mirrors, they follow you through any reflection. And if they want to kill you, they'll kill you through the reflection. Like, that movie tore me up, because you know how many reflections there are in the world, like in the bathtub, in the mirror, in your car, like the computer screen.
Yeah, I could see that. Anywhere you look, you could just instantly
that one.
get
If
your
you have
neck
not
snapped.
seen, hello, like, just me looking in my glasses would tear me up. Man, they had a whole scene where this lady died in the bathtub, and my grandma had the exact same bathtub that the lady died in. When I tell y'all I did not want to take a bath at my grandma's house after watching it.
So you took a bath at somebody else's house?
No, I had to take a bath at my grandma's house. I had to, like, I took a bath.
So you took a whole bath and went up her flow.
I took a bath. I took a real quick one. Like I hopped in like I was in that jump like the demons ain't gonna get me.
Best.
Okay. I was in that jump like the demons not gonna get me. I'm finna get in and get out.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god.
But I just wanted to know because it's like it's so many scary movies out there, and it really be ones that just be like, "Yo, why would y'all make this?" Like now I can't go to sleep at night.
I would say The Ring messed me up. I
don't know. See, my mom would play them like back to back. The Ring.
Yeah, I say The Ring too.
Yeah, The Ring.
The Ring messed me up
when I was younger.
What about?
I think it was The Grudge when the lady was taking a shower.
Yeah.
And the hands start coming out the back. It was.
What about them Chucky movies?
No,
Chucky
that wasn't
ruined.
really scary.
Chucky wasn't scary, but when I watched Chucky when I was younger, it just completely ruined like Barbie dolls. And
Annabelle ain't do that.
But Annabelle came after Chucky though. True. So the first time I saw Chucky, I was like 3. So kill a doll walking around, and then you turn around and people buy me Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls and them American Girl dolls. Like, no, like I know where this goes. I know what they do at night. But to get into it, today we have brought Twisted Journey on the Blerd Mob to basically discuss his journey as a content creator, discuss where he's started, where he's come from, and basically just get some insight on what it's like to be Twisted Journey. So my icebreaker question for this interview is, what is your definition of a content creator?
Really, anybody's a content creator for real. Like anybody that makes something, uploads something is really considered a content creator, but it's just what defines what you do. It could be broken down to like many different things, but I consider myself like a all-in-one content creator because I like to learn and like do stuff in different topics and niche. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I do classify in general as a comedian creator in general.
So what specifies, like what draws the line between content creator and comedian creator, since you gave that one a specific name?
So comedian creator is basically, just uploading comedy videos or sketches, stuff like that. Other content creators may just upload like everyday life, like vlogs, or just taking pictures and stuff like that on Instagram. Those are like pretty much the general creators, like everyday life. But like you can niche down. I'm just niching down like specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there an end goal for most comic creators, like comedian creators, to like, is all of their goals to aim to be stand up? Like, is that still the end goal, or is it I want to basically thrive on YouTube and social media as a comedian?
So, I mean, I can't really speak for everyone, but like how I feel, I think a lot of people start off as sketch comedians, like doing parodies or something like that. And then maybe like later on throughout the years or whatever, they'll like ease into stand up just to try it. I feel like in general, if you can do stand up, you can really do like kind of anything in comedy.
Facts.
So like most people start off as doing sketch and then go into stand up. But
is it difficult to kind of like, I guess, break the mold, since like I know like a lot of sketch comedy got really big with Vine, and then it shifted to like videos on Instagram, and now we got TikTok, and then Instagram brought the Reels back, so now you just see it on both platforms. And it's kind of like, do you feel like it's cluttered, or is it hard to diversify from all of that?
Well, it's definitely hard to stand out now because everybody's doing the same thing now. Like you'll maybe see a small creator that maybe take off from a viral video. Now all the big creators are following through, copying the same thing, or vice versa. But it's just hard to stand out because mostly what everybody I see doing is doing comedy sketches or like viral parodies or something like that. So most people lean into like trying to do comedy, but like everybody's doing the same thing. So it's really just hard to diversify yourself. Like you gotta really just do something different to stand out now.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's definitely oversaturated now.
So with that, like where how you were saying that everybody's making skits and everybody's making parodies, and it's getting harder for you to stand out as a comedian creator. So what motivates you to continue making content and continue making these parodies and sketches, even though it's getting harder to make yourself stand out?
Well, I'll say because I follow a lot of people in general that like are like my motivation. So like I grew up watching the Chappelle Show, Dave Chappelle, Wild and Out shows, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps. Like I started watching them, so like you'll see them doing stand up, but also like you'll see like bits and pieces of them doing sketch comedy and stuff like that too. So like that kind of inspired me and just motivate me to do it because like they started off like from the bare bones to scratch and worked their way up. So I'm kind of just following the same path.
Okay. So what's your formula for standing out? Like what makes your content unique? What, without giving us too much, you got to keep your secrets in the bag. But if you had to give us one thing that this is what makes Twisted Journey content Twisted Journey, what would be that one thing?
So I do everything from the whole production process, from the scripting, the idea, the editing, the marketing. I do like the whole 9 yards. But like what I like, what separates me the most is like I keep learning like editing, like everything with editing and storytelling and stuff like that. I learn how to make that and just apply it like trial and error, even if it's not funny or that good looking. I'll still try to upload it or share it just to get feedback to improve like from what I posted already. So like I constantly just scale like on a regular basis and just I just apply that to like in each video or someone else's video from like just feedback. So like really feedback is what kind of separates me because I upgrade every time.
Okay. And I know that you also do Twitch and everything. Would you say that Twitch and other platforms like that are an extension of your comedy? Or is that you branching out into newer realms and stuff as Twisted Journey?
So when I did start streaming on Twitch, like playing games with everyone, I started to do that. Like I started to like put that like, oh, I gotta say a joke or something every now and then. But like really it's just natural interaction. Like when I play the game with you, like it's fun, like it's funny, like we all laugh and joke. It's nothing really serious. So I like that real world interaction. I don't like the scripted anything or you gotta say this or all that. I like everything natural. So you'll definitely see like the natural, like me interacting with people. It depends on the person, but like you'll see that natural interaction with me just interacting with people when I do stream. Yeah.
Okay. We ain't been on the game in a minute though, so
yeah, I'm coming back. I don't stream on Twitch anymore. Twitch is
yeah,
making
it's going through some changes and crazy changes. Yeah, gambling, all that with other big streamers, and it's not really for small creators. Really, they really only appeal to big creators. But like that's why like I do everything for YouTube now because it's a long format platform. You can push shorts and stuff on that. Customization, you can customize everything. I like making thumbnails and stuff like that, so I prefer that.
Okay. I guess.
So what would you say your biggest challenge? Because you talked about how you basically you just do the whole, you are the production
Yeah,
from the time the script gets written to the time you post it on social media. That is all you.
yeah.
So I see that like from even looking at the stuff that we do, like from the time we record all the way up to when we post it, like that's a whole process within itself.
Yeah.
And that's 3 of us doing it. So you by yourself, I can only imagine like the challenges and the hurdles you have to hop through. So with that, what would you say your biggest challenge as a content creator to get your from the starting point all the way up to where you reveal it to everybody else?
So just to kind of drop back your question, so you're asking, how do I go through the whole process from start to end by myself, or like,
Or like what's your biggest challenge with the doing you being the production by yourself?
uh,
What would you say your biggest challenge is?
um, time management. This stuff takes up a lot of time, more than usual. Uh, Even more than my main job. Like this still takes up more than my main job. Each video, so people think that, like, especially like with skits, like most skits, like you will just record yourself and just upload. Um, you can do it that way, or you can really just polish it and take your time. And for like maybe like a 1 minute, 2 minute video, maybe a 30-second video could take more than like 2 hours or maybe 8 hours just to kind of just make it pretty, make it good. So it just depends on how much work you put in. But like I'll say time management, because depending on how you go about things, if you're not organized, it can take you like hours, maybe days, maybe weeks to just make one video. It could be 30 seconds, a minute, 30 minutes, like stuff like that. It all depends on your time. So you like if you stay structured, organized, like you can get through a lot of stuff faster.
Yeah, I could
So if you
definitely
was talking
attest to
to a
that.
newer content creator, would you like if you was talking to a newer content creator, would you tell them to have a team or like
Uh so that so it all depends on like if you got the same mindset, because like me, I'm doing this all by myself. I need a team. I'm screaming for a team. I'm begging for a team right now.
Facts.
But I can't, it doesn't make for me, and this is why I haven't like really just brought anybody in, because it's like I can't tell nobody what to do or like how to like do stuff when I don't got myself together. Like it's unorganized. So of course,
Facts,
like you can
yeah.
bring in
Yeah.
somebody, be like, okay, we can do this together, blah blah blah. But I'd rather have something organized so like nobody would be like no doubts, frustrations, and stuff like that later on. So that's why I haven't personally have a team yet. But like anybody new, if you got like-minded people that's on the same page, that's willing to commit time and everything, I say start with a team. Uh, it could be as big as you want, as small as you want. Everyone should have a role. Like nobody should have to just do one thing all by themselves. Like you can have help. Like you, that's why other people are there. But
Mm-hmm.
just have to like just learn. Like you gotta have the mindset to learn, and it will be mistakes. Like nothing has to be perfect. So a lot of people just nitpick about that. Like have to be perfect every time. Like you don't. So
I rock
No,
with that.
I feel that. So like what are you using to manage all of your tasks? Cuz there's content creators out there that are like you that don't have a team that's doing everything from front to back. So
mm.
how are you managing and maintaining everything that you got going on?
So like about a year ago, so like there's actually a lot of management tools like you can use as a creator, really for everyday use. I used to use Asana. It's like an app and like a website. It's like how you use for like production or like coding and stuff like that. Like using
Mm-hmm.
Kanban boards and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You can like kind of set like an epic and then subtasks for that, assign people or yourself, and close it out into different uh like timelines. I used to use that. I don't use that no more because it was like kind of it was tedious, but like the new tool is still tedious, but like it's more good for my workflow. So like I use Notion now. I don't know if you heard of that. It's a management tool. It's like good. I think every creator or anybody like just everyday use can just use it. And the way I got it set up, I got to split up to like different things. So like when I do comedy, when I do gaming, when I do potentially podcasting and like other stuff for like clients, stuff like that. I got to set up for each individual thing. Nothing is like attached to it. So I can like go in, assign stuff, and like I got it like kind of coded to where it's like it reminds you and show you like the progress and stuff like that. So I look at that every day.
Okay. Because we use Trello, which is
or you can
kind
use
of
that.
has.
Yeah.
Okay. So either you would say Notion or Trello, either or. Okay.
Yeah, either or is good. Everything I use are like paid versions, so like you don't have to like you do not have to go in and buy like none of this stuff. There's a lot of free tools. I just pay for everything because it fits my workflow.
Nah, I feel you. You definitely have to find the tools that fit your process. That's the number one thing. Like there's so like how you were saying there's so many management tools, but then you get in there and it's like this doesn't work for what I'm trying to do.
And you touched on something when you talked about the prices of everything. Like you hear a lot of motivational speakers or just folks in your neighborhood who'll be like, man, I quit my job and I did what I had to do. I followed my dreams. And I'm gonna be real with you. This dream right here, the Blerd Mob, I don't think I could have did without having a job. Like, does that stuff get expensive? Like when you really got into your content creation and you was like, okay, I'm investing into this.
What's that work-life balance looking like?
Yeah, like dude, was that good advice? Like, do you feel like those folks are giving good advice when they said, quit your job and follow your dreams?
Honestly,
release your job. What Beyonce said, release your job.
Don't listen to none of those people. Those people probably already had like about like 2 years worth of salary or something like saved up to just like up and leave. Like don't listen to these people. Like you will go broke.
Fact.
You will go broke doing this stuff. I kid you not.
Nah,
You will
for
go broke.
real.
I put a lot into this, just my personal setup in general. I'm now up to over 20,000 for my whole setup, home studio.
Ooh.
He got the nice toys, y'all.
If I show you like the stuff I have, you would probably not even be using like half of this. Like I don't recommend nobody getting like what I got, unless you just doing like heavy duty like everything. But like this stuff gets costly. Like a lot of stuff you can do for free.
Look at Ralph.
For free, like a lot of stuff you can do for free. Like there are workarounds. Like I just see a lot of people. I have to have the best stuff. I have the latest stuff like that. Or my stuff have to be 4K, 6K. Audio has to be perfect. Or all these lights and stuff like that. You don't need all this like at all. So you looking like
hey,
nah. He said 20K. I thought I was selling an arm and a leg to get my stuff set up. Golly.
Right. I mean, I will say it's about what you're passionate about, because I ain't gonna talk about how much all this stuff costs.
Yeah.
Hey,
like it's about what you're passionate about.
But after it is that. But like I mean, you got folks that like just to like have stuff just to have it, or just to say like I got the latest stuff. I do got the latest stuff, but I use my stuff on a daily basis while working for my main job and while working for like the content stuff like that on a daily basis, day and night.
So do you have like a goal for like, okay, like is your goal to like make Twisted Journey and that organization, or is your goal to make this your full-time job, or are you still trying to continue with this as like a hobby?
So yes, so this is a hobby and a job for me. Like I actually I started to make it a job because I fell in love like as a hobby, because it was times where I did just like kind of just wanted to give up a lot of doubts and you can't do this and that, but like that kind of just motivated me to do more. Plus I already had the equipment and stuff for it, so it's like why not do it? Like I wish I would pay this amount of money and like not use it, or be like
facts.
So that was really what motivated me to just keep going. Yeah, just keep going.
So what about burnout? Because like, you ever hear the stories of like folks will go into game development and they're playing way less games than they used to when they was really passionate about it. Like, how do you keep yourself passionate and still being in love with what you do as a comedian?
So I kind of got my schedule like structured for like every day to do something else, because most people think I just sit in front of the computer at home or something like that all day. I don't. I actually go out. I just don't post as much as people think like anymore. Like I'm starting back to post now, but like it's kind of every blue moon now. But like I'm trying to structure myself, like automate everything to just like post in general, like at least one video or something like that a week, or like in that sense. So like I can like get back to going out, traveling, doing stuff other than just making videos or filming.
Okay. So you
So
mentioned your main job. So how do you balance like making sure
Oh,
you keep that main job in
I just
line?
yeah. So with my main job, I'm just grateful that I have like a hybrid schedule. Like I am required to go in the office, but that's like 2 or 3 days out of the week. But I am grateful that like I can stay home when I want to or need to, or just because. And the perks of that, I can travel and still work on the other content and stuff like that at the same time while I'm working. So I'm just grateful for that, because I get a lot of stuff. I kind of do. I wouldn't say I get away with stuff, but like I kind of can do like a lot of stuff at one time. So like I could just do two birds with one stone. But like as far as that, like I do, like to your previous question, I do want this to be like my main job as far as the content creation and all the other stuff to be that first. But like I have no reason or rush to get out of my main job just yet, because I want to establish myself and like make a name for myself on the content stuff like that first before like everything just rolls in.
Yeah.
So what would be the milestone that you got to hit to get to that point? Like, is it a salary thing? It is a notoriety thing? Like,
so it's definitely, so it's really salary. So like if I make a certain amount of money that pays more, like I don't need my main job no more, I would do that.
like,
or
yeah,
like it's really not really about money for me, because it's really about opportunity. So like if the opportunity comes up and they be like, okay, we need you to do this or come do this, work for me or something like that, for like something, a big public figure or a company, stuff like that, or I'm required to just do content in general, I would do that. Like I'll leave my main job and do it and work on that. No matter, I won't say no matter what the salary is, because
it gotta be good,
decent to like what I'm making now for my main job. So
it costs too much nowadays.
What would be your advice to content creators who also have a main job? Because like me, Ryan, and Ralph all have a main job, and then we do the podcast stuff along with it. So what would be your advice to, I guess my question would be, would you advise people to find a job that they can flex around the content creation, or would you prefer that they make the content creation fit within the job? Because you said with yours, you have a lot of flexibility to where you can manage both.
So do not quit your job to do this. Like that's kind of goes like back to that.
First and foremost.
Do not quit your job to do this. Like unless you haven't already been making like big money doing this, there's no reason for you to like quit your job to try to find flexibility to do this. But I would say you have to make it work. Like whatever main job, whatever you're doing now, you have to make it work. I lose sleep. I don't get enough sleep, to be honest with y'all. I don't. I'm up day and night.
Team no sleep.
Day and night. From 5 to 6 in the morning, and I probably go to sleep at like 1 or 2, maybe 3 a.m. every day. It just depends. Like I'm just hungry for work. I just want to work. I just want to get better. I got that mindset, like this drive to just keep going and get better. So like that's why I do that. You don't have to do this. Find time that fits in your schedule. But yeah, you gotta take breaks too. You gotta take breaks. I do take breaks occasionally, but you gotta find some time for like breaks. Like you can't just work every day. Like that's kind of draining.
So
What's
looking
your
at other content creators who've probably like failed, what have you learned from other people's failure? Like I think we've all had that one friend or one family member, or we've seen that one celebrity fall off. What have you learned from other people's failures?
You don't have to rush. I see like a lot of people really just rushing to just put out content. It's really quality over quantity. You probably hear a lot of people say the opposite, but I think it's quality over quantity. They rush to put out like several videos, maybe a day, just to I gotta get in the algorithm to post to get seen or stuff like that. Like really, I feel like they're just literally just rushing to burn out. Like they're just burning out so fast. Like they got no more ideas or content, so now they're relying on other people's maybe smaller or bigger to kind of just copy their work to just recreate something now. So that's why I do see a lot of people doing that now, and it's not fun to me anymore to like just see people do that. I want some originality. Like
you
I
mean
can,
that authenticity?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would just say, just pace yourself. Like, just pace yourself. You don't have to. It can be just one video a week for your deadline or goal. Like, you don't have to make like 5 or 10 a week just to gain more followers or traction. Like, it's gonna come over time regardless. So you just gotta stay consistent.
Okay. So you mentioned like working for public figures, and without us saying too much, we know you've been doing some big things, Twisted Journey. So for the content creators out there listening, what advice would you give? Like networking tips, any type of advice to people who want to work with those celebrities and those public figures?
Well, first I would say, one, niche down. So like I'm mainly in comedy, but I also do gaming, streaming, podcasting. Niche down because I kind of classify myself as a comedian first, and then like just a content creator in general. But like I'll say niche down. So like since I do comedy, do stuff within comedy. So if you really like trying to work in that space as far as like working with public figures and stuff like that, do your research, see what they're doing. If they might have positions open available to like do stuff with them, apply. But like just don't come empty handed. Come with something that you can just like show off your best work or something like that. And be like, I saw you had a position open. I want to apply. I'm familiar with your work. I love what you do, and just show them that. And no, and don't take offense or no hard feelings if they say no. They may just have you in mind, maybe just thinking about you or what you can do for them, stuff like that, and just wait. Like don't beg, don't go back and forth. Just be patient. If that don't work, move on to the next person, and the next person, the next person. So
Okay. So
So
would you
when it
say you have a portfolio? Like when you reach out, do you already have like a set up portfolio of
yes and no. It just depends because like I don't just kind of do the same thing for the each person. I do something like I every time I reach out to somebody, I do something different. But like it just depends on like who that person is or like what they're doing. So like with like comedians, like a lot of comedians don't really have good marketing for real or presence like on social media. So like what I like to do in working with them, I like to do stuff around like kind of making them more aware or like just showing off like funny videos or something like that for them. So like I'll make something tailored to that specific person on their
Okay.
style. But like it like just like doing stuff like this kind of just opens up different opportunities because you can like do more. I just wouldn't just do everything all at once. Like try to uh do something with this person and now you move on to this person and maybe like you're like full on um like on like kind of hard with them on a daily basis, but like now somebody reached out to you to do this. Like you got to kind of pick one and just go with it. Because unless you got a team, that'll work. But if you're doing this by yourself, it's not really ideal.
So, so I've heard somebody, like, I'm gonna preface this question. I've heard someone say, like, when it comes to this content creation thing, it's like everybody can get a piece of the pie. And when you talk about your networking and stuff, do you feel like that is prevalent in your industry, or do you feel like you more so have to compete against the other people in your industry due to it being overpopulated?
So it's definitely enough to go around. It's just you kind of have to constantly be seen. Like your name always has to like come up in the conversation on video, stuff like that. And so it's definitely much harder, especially for the new people starting. Because it's like you got no experience, but like you starting to get experience by just doing stuff. So you just really just kind of constantly just keep either like making videos or going to different events, stuff like that, and constantly just get your name out because you want to, talked about, not in a bad way, but a good way.
You need that publicity.
Yeah.
Sound like me.
Okay.
You need some publicity, Ralph.
Ralph said, "Look up Ralph Plays. Or hurry up."
Oh God.
You got any questions for him, Ralph?
As he sips his drink.
As I sip some water, sir. Thank you.
Water can be a drink. I didn't say drink with a capital D or nothing.
I don't know.
Water is a drink.
I mean, I do
y'all
be coming up in here with drinks today.
H2O in this bottle.
I'm glad you
said,
hydrated.
y'all gonna know it's H2O in this bottle.
I would say for me and other small content creators that are, trying to get established into this big ocean of other creators that's already been here years, what advice would you give, or what things would you say to just be consistent with besides just uploading content, just being here?
Be patient. This is definitely a marathon. People are so quick to, oh, I got this crazy cool idea. Oh, it's gonna go viral, and get disappointed later on. So I say just be patient. Just keep uploading. Try to at least one video a week. Stop really following trends. It's okay to follow trends, but you don't have to follow them every time. Like, be your own person, be unique. What makes you you? So just put that in your content. What makes you you? So just stand out. Just stand out.
Okay. To bounce off of Ralph's question, like, I know with some content creators, like even me when I was starting the whole podcast thing, like you always have the idea, but it's always that pre-execution phase of like, how do I get from the idea to my head to even start recording and getting in front of the camera? Like, what would be some advice you would give to people who have the idea but they don't know where to start?
So that's how most ideas start off, with a thought. So when you make an idea, it doesn't have to be full on perfect. Like the first time you just think of it or write it down. All my ideas start from a grain of salt. So like that's why I say like it'll start off from like an idea, like a niche or something like that. So I want to do something around like playing the game or something like that. But like which game? There's like hundreds and thousands of games to play. Call of Duty. So I'll do something like maybe trick shots in Call of Duty. Like just like think of stuff like you like or like what others would like to see. So like trick shotting in Call of Duty on this map. Like like most people would probably think like that's never been done or that's impossible. But like you can try to see if you can do it. Like that's just something to do. So like all ideas start off from a grain of salt. You can just branch on and add to it as you go along to get your full thing, because it can like it started from the main idea. It's like schools, like main idea, supporting details, like stuff like that. So you got to apply that with your ideas.
Okay. And as a comedian, like going off of your mentions of separating yourself, like I've heard comedians say anything in your life you can make funny, but at the same time you want to maintain your own personal life. Like where do you set like the boundary of I don't want to put too much of myself into my content and I still want to keep myself separated from said content, but still let your fans get to know you and who you are?
That's kind of a tricky question because it just depends on what you do or what you upload. Like people will see or judge or come up with something based off what you post. Um, so I mean, you could really make fun of anything. It's like at the end of the day, it's up to you to like if you want to like give that information and be like, okay, this was like real or this was false. Like it's up to you. Like you don't always have to explain yourself through each joke or stuff like that because that's what makes it not funny anymore. So it's really up to you.
Okay.
Good answer.
That's all my questions. I had fun asking you stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I had anything else. What about you, Ralph?
No, I don't have anything else.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a question for y'all.
Uh-oh.
What
He said, "Y'all been grilling me."
what is like what's like the best thing that you guys individually think of what you do now? Like what makes you want to do this? Like the Blerd Mob podcast.
I can start. Just seeing it evolve, like what you said, like being patient. Like when I first started this a year ago, we weren't getting nowhere near the traffic that we're getting now, or the interaction, or the views, or even like the segments that we branched off to. None of that existed a year ago. And then when it came around to the start of the second season, when I brought on Ryan and Ralph, then we really started to sit down and was thinking like, how do we upgrade what we've done before? How do we take this to the next level? So just seeing that constant evolution and seeing like the ideas that we've been pulling out and trying out for the first time and seeing it blow up to like ways that we didn't think it was going to blow up, or seeing how, the different avenues we can take with different pieces. That's what motivates me. Like the fact that I could just see this continue going, continue evolving. Like we put out an episode and you guys on the forefront, you could see us putting out the episode, listening to the audio, watching the video. But on the back end, we're working on some stuff that's about to come out 2 weeks from now. We're talking about ideas that we want to execute in 2023 and further. And it's just like seeing all of that, just a continuous cycle. That excites me. That excites me.
I would agree. It's like the evolution because all of us got our own professional careers, and I feel like, at least personally, like I'm tested at work. I'm tested on my business side, my business acumen, my professionalism, the skills that I bring to my job. And with Blerd Mob, I'm tested on a creative level. Like, you know what I'm saying? At work, it's how can I do this for the company, do what they want me to do. But now it's like, how can I do what I want, or rather what we want, do it better, continue to grow, continue to evolve, and continue to excel. And that's the fun part because I'm tested in a different way than what I'm already tested in my regular life. Plus, I talk to these dudes about gaming, anime, and stuff on a regular basis. Now we're doing it now we're doing it in such a way that we can actually get money off of it. We can get notoriety off of it, or we could just get more friends and network with other people who have the same passions as us. You know what I'm saying? I like being tested in a different way than what I used to be.
Okay.
I would say.
About you, Ralph?
I would say aside from our normal lives of just going to work every day, we know as a collective whole that can be very mentally draining, except we don't get that creative side tested enough from what we do at work. So having this as a creative test for us also continues to, grow ourselves in different areas aside from what work teaches us, just going forward in life. Because I'm pretty sure a good majority of people does not just want to go to work, come home, repeat the same thing over and over and over and over. So us having the ability to,
Right.
go into different areas to explore our creative side with, us doing a podcast and me doing all the a good majority of like graphic design stuff for the podcast and me branching out into streaming, my creative side is growing. As you've seen over the year that I've been, well, almost a year that I've been part of the podcast, all of the graphics things have gotten better. Portia's been working more on, the intros, the outros for our episodes has gotten better. Just our overall feel of the podcast has just gotten better over the time, and I'm loving that. It actually brings out our creative side more, and it's just pretty much like a blossomy flower. So.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Like sitting an hour and a half in a work meeting, it's like, oh my god, y'all, for real, why are we here? But then sitting an hour and a half to discuss what we want to do for this podcast, pulling all of these creative ideas and making something out of it. Like even with this tournament thing, like me and Ryan sat down for an hour at like 7:00. Who has a meeting at 7:00? But me and
this
Ryan
tournament
sat
my
down,
baby, bro.
like we left, we did a whole 8-hour shift at work. I had to go to class, and me and Ryan met up at 7:00 to just flesh out this whole tournament idea. And I didn't really care, because like Ralph said, I love it. Like having that medium to like have that creative outlet, to just forget that I gotta go to work and program some shit the next morning and just focus on this right here.
I like that.
And also we got an interesting dynamic. Like, we grew up, we was all in college. Like our development years we spent together. So it's like another thing that really helps us is that we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So that helps the flower to bloom even more beautifully, bloomifully. I don't know. But like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Try to sound
Ralph
good.
Said
for
you
the
ruined
camera.
his analogy. Ralph said you ruined his analogy.
It is what it is. But I mean, that's part of what really makes it great, bro. Like we have this dynamic, and Portia be talking like we'll get up here and we'll meet at Thursday evening just to link up again on Sunday evening and be like, hey, we gotta pick another day in the next week to meet up because this some good stuff.
Yeah, like I would not have imagined, to be completely honest, like a year ago, sitting down in front of this camera and starting this podcast, I would not have imagined like a year later and us being like at this level. Like we're nowhere near like where we could be. Like just looking at other content creators that are in on arena and just looking at like the different people who are really making names for themselves, like we're nowhere near where we want to be. But just in this moment, I'm satisfied. And in this moment, I know that if I'm satisfied now, I know damn well when we get to where we want to be, we're gonna be straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say before we move on, can we acknowledge how Ryan has stepped up to do video editing too? Because the ones that know Ryan,
Twisted, they got me video editing.
The ones
they
that
really
know
got me
Ryan,
video editing.
You don't
no, he don't do no work.
Yeah. Hey, if y'all know the dynamic between me and Ryan, I don't play. So I had to sit Ryan down, and I had to say, Ryan, I was like, if you gonna do this, you gonna have to do it.
I like Twisted. I like being the face and the talker. I like being the ideas guy. And Phoop said, "Hey, Ralph handling that picture editing and all the graphics. You need to help with the video." I like,
when I came to that manual work, you got frustrated.
Right. That goes back to like, but that goes back to like the team thing. Like, when we first started it, it was me doing all the video and audio editing. Ralph was on graphics, and Ryan was putting together the captions and stuff and making sure that our social media was straight. But as we started developing all these different ideas, like Versus Tuesdays, mob reviews, even the tournament thing, it's like at one, we had to be honest with ourselves and be like, we are being stretched to a limit that's like unrealistic with everything else that we have to do. So if we want to execute these ideas and if we want to step our game, then Ryan's going to have to do more than make captions and post stuff on social media. I'm going to have to do more than audio edit and make graphics. Ralph is going to have to do more than, well, what he's already said. Like when he makes designs, Ralph steps up every time he makes a
them
new
thumbnails
design.
been looking good. They
So
been
it's
looking
like,
real
so
good.
like when it comes to these new ideas, it's every time it's a constant challenge. Like how we did this on Tuesday. Now, how do we make this better on Wednesday?
Yeah,
and
that's
the
what
second we produce, you go.
Oh, but yeah, that's what I'm say. Going back to like the learning thing, I said that's what you got to do. You gotta be uncomfortable to be comfortable in this industry. You gotta. It's like it's no way avoiding that. Like you're gonna have to learn some stuff. You're gonna take some L's. It's just you just gotta. It's up to you to just progress.
And you can't get comfortable either.
Yeah.
Like when you start running, you got to keep running. Like you can in this, you cannot get comfortable because like you get to a point where people start noticing, and people start noticing in a good way, and people start noticing in a bad way. So it's kind of like you have to keep pushing that limit.
Look, I got the undertones of that, and I was like, yeah,
you have to keep pushing the limit. It's basically it's what Twisted Journey said. Like with all of these mediums, all of these avenues, Instagram Reels, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all of these avenues to put out content. Like you did your idea and you executed it. That was the first goal. Now the next goal is what are you going to do next? Because there's 16 people right behind you about to do the same thing. And whether you started before them or started or after them, they can sweep past you. Yeah. You cannot get comfortable.
That was a great question.
You got any more questions for us, Twisted Journey, on your counter interview? Your counter interview to our interview.
No, we like pretty much it was like 4, 5, 6, 7 different questions that came out of from the first question I asked, but that's all I got.
All right. Well, this ends our interview with Twisted Journey. We want to thank you for giving us your time, talking to us, spinning some gems, giving some advice to all of the content creators that are out there. Before you dip out, where can our audience find you?
Twisted Journey on all platforms. I do have a website that I brought back up. So everything is on my link tree, which will be in my Instagram. So yeah, everything is linked to that.
All
right. Well, thank you, Twisted Journey. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you for joining the mob.
Thank you. Y'all enjoy yourselves too. Like y'all about to
appreciate it.
Play the game right after this.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, do I leave now?
Get out.
Go away. We interviewed you now. We don't need you no more.
We did that.
If you want to stay, you can.
Was good seeing you. You don't know the black salutations. Like, yep, it was good seeing you.
Look, when you say for the 5th time, it's getting a little late. I got my pajamas on.
I left the kids in the car. I gotta go.
One leg hanging in the car, one leg outside with the door open.
Right. Man, what? Y'all got the door open, all the car lights on, the air not running, the windows down, because you don't want to waste no gas with the air.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
We had hours to talk.
Nah, for real. Man.
Oh my goodness.
So we got a couple minutes left on the episode, so I want to hop into our next topic. Deadpool 3 announcement came out a couple weeks ago, and they are bringing back the man, the myth, the legend. Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. So, just taking a moment to suck that in alone, this makes the 4th mutant to be joining the MCU. This is behind Professor X, A Multiverse of Madness, Miss Marvel, and of course, the Disney Plus series Miss Marvel. Namor, which is coming to us in November in Wakanda Forever, and then Wolverine that's coming in Deadpool 3. So, this just all goes back to, when are the X-Men fully? When is the X-Men fully going to debut in the MCU? Because what it's looking like to me, we're getting piecemeal mutants. And then somewhere past phase 5, phase 6, we're going to officially get us some X-Men content. But what's the plan?
my whole thing is, y'all have brought back our old school Wolverine. Like, is he here forever? Like, should I get used to him? Like Deadpool 3 is a part of the MCU, correct? Like, this is officially
I think
it's in the MCU.
I think his Deadpool 3 officially puts him in the MCU.
So that would make Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, officially a part of the lore, the MCU.
Hey,
so,
but
is he here?
But they just introduced the multiverse, so
I don't know. It overwhelmed me, bro.
He could be Wolverine from a different Earth. You know they gonna pull. I feel like they gonna pull that card. I don't think Hugh Jackman is here to stay.
I mean, would you be mad if he was here to stay though?
I think he would be too old.
Yeah.
Physically, I think he would be too old to stay in the MCU as Wolverine. Now, what they could do, which would be super dope, if they kept him and they brought old girl from Logan, his daughter.
Yeah. Ooh.
And officially put her in to stand in as Wolverine. Now that would be dope. But I don't see Hugh Jackman lasting long in the MCU. I see him being on some Professor X stuff. Like, I'm doing this one movie and that's it.
Right.
Hugh Jackman here to get this check.
Okay, because I'm gonna be real, bro.
Nah, for real. A Disney check?
A Disney check is nice.
A Disney check. Like, he been getting them Fox checks for a while. And I'm sure they've been pretty nice. But a Disney check?
Bro, they knew what they was doing with that trailer too. Because when I watched it, I saw it on Twitter. I was like, X-Men, Wolverine and Deadpool. Hold on. And I see Ryan Reynolds' old funny self over here saying, hey, Hugh, you want to do another movie? Sure, Ryan. I'm like, huh? We got X-Men?
Well, we got Wolverine. So this is the thing. I think we got Wolverine. We ain't got X-Men.
You right.
I think we're going to get piecemeal mutants from now into whenever they decide to put out a full X-Men production. And my theory behind it, because this was something I heard like a long time ago, is that putting in the X-Men now would like overshadow the rest of the MCU. Like,
it would.
If Phase 5 had an X-Men standalone movie, y'all wouldn't care about Ant-Man, y'all wouldn't care about Miss Marvel, y'all wouldn't care about none of that stuff that was going on. We want to see this X-Men movie.
If they drop the X-Men movie, the only thing I'll be caring about is Wakanda Forever and when that Fantastic Four movie drop. I ain't gonna cap to you. I'd be like, I'm cool with Avengers
because
now.
because let's talk about Multiverse of Madness. Like, when they revealed that Professor X was going to be in the movie, there was some chatter about Professor X being in the movie, but that didn't overshadow the whole movie. Like, after the Professor X thing, everybody was talking about how Wanda cut up the whole movie.
True.
Yeah.
I get that. It's just that this is exciting.
It is. I am curious to see where this is, like, if they're going to be piecemealing those mutants. I am curious to see who is going to be given to us. Because the weird thing about this whole lineup is Miss Marvel. That throws everything off for me, because Miss Marvel's origins is not being a mutant. She's an Inhuman. And it's not like we haven't been introduced to the Inhumans because we saw Black Bolt in Multiverse of Madness. So that throws me off. But the only thing I can think of to justify that choice is that on this current Earth, where all of the MCU stories have been currently taking place, is they don't know enough about mutants, and they don't know enough about Inhumans to differentiate them, to say, oh, you're a mutant, oh, you're an Inhuman. So everything that looks weird in somebody's DNA, we're just going to officially write that down as a mutation or a mutant until, some more movies come past and now we know the difference.
And another thing is is Deadpool 3 a reboot technically? Because it's already official, like Deadpool 1 and 2 aren't in the MCU technically. Because in Deadpool 2, they had 2 whole X-Men in there. And they acknowledged the school and all of that. Ryun even did that little what's it called, that fourth wall where you talk to the audience, and it's like y'all are from a school for mutants and blah 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 in the second movie. So is Deadpool 3 going to be a reboot technically, or is it another universe type thing?
I don't know too much about what. I don't think anybody knows too much about what Deadpool 3 is supposed to be about. But it could easily be a multiverse thing, another Earth thing. They could easily throw him in the same universe that they pulled Patrick Stewart from. Because if we want to talk about Patrick Stewart, Professor X, we already know his whole backstory and how he even got here. So on that Earth, there's technically an X-Men because Professor X. So I can see them doing some type of multiverse thing. It depends on how they plan on using Deadpool. I don't think they're gonna just reboot his whole thing. I think too much has gone on in his movies for him to be like, okay, we're gonna reboot Deadpool.
Okay. I'm interested because you know what? And it's not really a cop out since they introduced the idea, but I totally could see that multiverse thing being like their leverage for introducing and bringing in new characters and stuff.
Or they don't. Or another possibility is that his movie is not even closely related to what's going on in MCU. Like they could be in the MCU, but their whole story is separate from what's been going on. Like anything that's going on in MCU, Deadpool could just be like, "Hey, we know that all this stuff is going on, but we doing this stuff over here." Like I know you haven't watched Moon Knight, but they could do it how they did the Moon Knight series. Like Moon Knight wasn't directly related to the MCU at all. Like he was in the MCU. He existed in the universe, but like his storyline and the plot points that they touched on throughout the whole season didn't really connect with what was with the previous Phase 4 movies we got going on. So it could be that.
But my thing is, Phase 4 was already so loosely connected anyway that they gonna have to connect some dots in this Phase 5 regardless.
I don't think it would be with Deadpool though. That's when I'm thinking that Deadpool is going to be in the MCU, but he's going to exist outside of the storyline that they got going on. Like Deadpool being Deadpool, he's going to acknowledge that it's been some freaky stuff going on in the MCU, but he just might not be directly involved in what's supposed to go down.
Deadpool's gonna come with all the jokes for sure.
I'm excited.
Pretty much, he's gonna come with all the jokes, and they're gonna. I can imagine Deadpool, and he makes a joke about the Eternals, like when that fat ass Celestial came out the Earth, and nobody has acknowledged this yet. I know that made the biggest earthquake of all time.
Yes.
And y'all mean to tell me nobody has acknowledged this yet? He's gonna acknowledge it.
Deadpool alone could connect all the dots. Like on some most of it, be like, "Yo, did y'all see that? Fans, I know y'all saw it, but did y'all
feel that? It sounded like a Celestial. Like, why do you know what that is?
Right.
Oh goodness.
Oh man.
That's what it's looking like to me. With all these announcements, with Namor coming and him being officially announced as a mutant, it just seems like we're about to get piecemeal mutants up until they finally make an X-Men production. And it could just turn into, as we're getting piecemeal, that we start getting the explanation of how mutants ended up here.
True.
Because there's still the theory of they're going to use the snap. When whoever came back from the snap, their DNA might have gotten altered to be mutants. So that's still a possibility that they could do that.
So, quick question.
That is something that could make sense.
With us getting Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, is there any possibility that we can see the Storm?
Okay. Yes, but I heard that they are waiting. Some of these people who played these mutants in the past are still on contract.
Mm-hmm.
So if they ever wanted to bring back any of like the well-known X-Men, they would either have to use the current actors that we're used to, or they would have to wait until their contracts end, and then then they can start getting new people. So
How long are those contracts?
It really just depends on if Halle Berry want to come back. If Halle Berry is still on contract to play Storm, it really just depends if she want a Disney check. But to fully answer your question, in all seriousness, I think it really just depends on how they plan on using Hugh Jackman. Because like you said before, Ralph, is that they're going to use Deadpool for the funnies. Mm-hmm. And while Deadpool has his serious moments, his movie is entertaining on a comedic level all the time. So Hugh Jackman being there could just be for a Deadpool Wolverine buddy comedy adventure. And that could just be his only purpose being here. But if they flip his purpose to be like, hey, we're actually going to use you to bring in the MCU version of the mutants, then there might be a possibility that Storm and the rest of them are coming. But it sounds like to me is that Ms. Marvel is the starting point for the mutants.
Right.
Okay.
So that's, or just erase the fact that she's actually an Inhuman. If the line starts with her, and this is her first time being introduced in the MCU, and with Namor too, like this is his first time being in the MCU, it sounds like they might be bringing in like new people. Like I hate to say it, like the next X-Men production may be a whole group of mutants that have not seen the cinematic screen.
Man, I want to see Nightcrawler. I need my boy.
That man been in it. It really just depends on what Kevin Feige's plan. Because I read an article, I can't remember where I read it, but I think it might have been IGN. But nobody knows what the plan is for X-Men except Kevin Feige. Nobody. Nobody.
Okay.
Like when you know, but like anything else, like he's keeping that shit under wraps.
He ain't trying to let nothing out.
I'm gonna let him do what he do. I'm gonna sit here and shut my fat self up and watch.
I feel him though, because it's about to be a balancing act of like teams. Like for the first phase 1 through 3, it was Avengers, and then they introduced Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we were managing the Avengers and managing Guardians of the Galaxy. Phase 5, we're about to be managing what's going to be the next team of Avengers, Thunderbolts, whatever they plan on doing with them, Fantastic Four, whatever they plan on doing with them, and then just adding X-Men. Now you have to manage 4 teams until whatever this big overall multiverse saga endgame is supposed to be. I could honestly see the X-Men coming in after all of this is done.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Like, let's end this Avengers story and then make X-Men and probably Fantastic Four on the side. Well, after.
Well, Fantastic Four is coming phase 6.
True. You're right. I forgot that part too.
They're coming. Like, it's officially known that the Fantastic Four are coming. But when are they gonna say, here's the MCU's X-Men? I can see that coming sometime after this whole multiverse saga is done. Like, well, and forgot about these folks. They introduced the Eternals. That's a whole separate team of folks.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they about to do with the Avengers, the Eternals, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four. And if you want to count Wakanda as a team in themselves, like, they have so many pieces to manage.
It's a lot.
I feel like it's just exactly. And like, the X-Men have so many people. They have so many people.
Yeah.
It's just really, if they ever take off with this X-Men story, it's like they're going to have to wipe out a couple people that we're used to make room for the X-Men, or they're just going to have their own little lane of X-Men stories.
And that Professor X, Magneto, Big Bad argument, whether or not how many X-Men are going to get their own solos, that's a lot.
And that's if they give them solos. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Miss Marvel, going back to Miss Marvel, she did get her solo series, but she's not really a mutant. And it could be something like that when they start picking out their lineup of mutants, that some of them might get their solo series, and then boom, X-Men movie.
Right.
So,
What about these other trailers?
man, let's talk about another Wakanda Forever trailer just dropped. But I want to talk about this Super Mario Brothers trailer right quick.
It went hard. There we go.
Lord.
It went hard. It went hard. It went hard. It went hard, bro.
It went hard up until I heard Mario's voice.
Thank you.
Listen.
Thank you. But let's start from the top. Because we gonna get to Mario as we gonna get to Chris Pratt as Mario. But let's just start from the top. Illumination makes great animation to begin with. If you ever watched Despicable Me, if you ever seen any of the Minions movie, like, their animation is top tier. To see them adapt Super Mario to it, I feel like I was talking to you, Ryan, but it felt like it was still us watching a game. Like, when they make games into movies and you could clearly tell, like, this is a movie. Like, this was like the smoothest transition from video game to movie.
It looked like a 4K Mario game on the PS5, Xbox Series X with a great Samsung LG TV showing it to you. Like, it looked fantastic.
Yeah. And the opening scene was, like, silly, like how they make children's adaptations and stuff, and it just becomes overly silly because they're trying to pander to children.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, Teen Titans Go. But this here, the way that when they started it with the penguins fighting Bowser, that jump was so funny to me.
It was, bro. It was funny and fun just to even watch it, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What kind of battle would you imagine between penguins and Bowser? And, like, in all seriousness, like, we're finna throw these snowballs. Then somebody showed up with an ice cube, and then Bowser's just sitting there like, are y'all for real?
and he hit that little flamethrower Pokemon attack on their castle. I was like, that was cold. That was cold, bro. That was cold.
Like, and then move past the awe of the Bowser versus Penguin scene, and we get a look at Mario. And then we hear Mario, and he just sounds like Chris Pratt. Like,
hey. Like, this I'm gonna be the one to say it. This trailer would have been a 10 if he sounded Italian. I gotta give it like a 9.75999.
I'm on the borderline of, if we had to hear Chris Pratt do an Italian accent. And if it was the worst, most offensive Italian accent we've ever heard, then I would have been like, you could have just talked as yourself. But then I hear him talk as himself. It's like,
and it doesn't fit.
I don't know which side to choose.
Listen, bro. Are there not any good Italian voice actors? Like, if they told me they just couldn't find one, I'll be like, okay, y'all did what y'all could do. But it was perfect up until then. That's why I kind of was like, push it over.
It's the funniest thing to me is that everybody had this idea in their head of what they want Mario to sound like, but we don't hear Mario talk a lot. Like, we hear him make sound effect noises, and we're basing Chris Pratt's voice acting after the 3 sounds. Like, what's that RDC? RDC World skit when they was like, Mario, you don't talk. You say 3 words. Yippee!
I think it was Game House. Yeah, yippee! Mamma mia!
He said, you don't talk. You say something like yippee! Woohoo! and that's the only piece of audio we have from Mario. And we see Chris Pratt say like 10 words, and it's like, nah, bro. We need you to sound like that. Woohoo! We saw
But the thing is, bro, let's just be real, bro. Let's just be real. Once this movie drop, if Chris Pratt jump off a mushroom and he say woohoo, I'm gonna be upset, bro. I'm gonna be upset. He gotta hit the woohoo.
He should stay away from all trademark Mario phrases. I don't want to hear "here we go." I don't want to hear "woohoo."
Here we
I don't
go.
want to hear "yippee." I don't want to hear that "whoa" when he died.
I don't need to hear that. It's me, Mario.
I don't want to hear that.
None of that. It's me,
Mario. I don't want to hear that. Like, other than the fact that Mario looks and sounds like Chris Pratt, I think the movie overall is going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to see all the characters, bro. Like, for the fact that they showed us Dry Bones and Luigi at the end. Did we see Donkey Kong? I can't remember.
No, we haven't seen Donkey Kong yet. The characters that they showed was Bowser, Mario, Toad, Dry Bones, and Luigi. We still haven't seen Princess Peach or Donkey Kong. Based on the promo flyer that they put out, we did get our first look at Goombas. We saw paratroopers.
Yeah.
What's the guy? Nameek, whatever, the little turtle guy that does the magic and stuff.
Yeah.
We saw him. So they showed us a lot of like usual Mario elements. We just haven't seen anybody else. Now, I wonder if they're gonna put a Yoshi in this movie.
They kind of got to.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't. But I mean,
they don't have to. But it would complete the formula.
For the old school Mario fans, I gotta see Mario riding on a Yoshi. If they don't do it, I'm not gonna be upset. But like, if the movie's just great, like this trailer,
I don't know.
However, I don't know if you guys have seen or not that people were complaining about Mario not being double cheeked up.
Bro, when I seen that, I was like, out of everything in that whole poster, y'all mad because the man ain't got no booty?
Y'all body shaming. Y'all body shaming. Do not body shame my Mario.
Like, out of all the things to point out in the poster, like, we could have talked about Peach's castle. We could have talked about the Goombas, the paratroopers, the Toad.
The colors.
Y'all looking at that man, what?
But that's literally the perfect example of you can't please everybody. Because I'm looking at this like, okay, everything at least looks perfect. And there's like,
y'all mad
but his ass.
But his booty though, like, where his cheeks at? Girl, what? You don't even see his cheeks in Super Smash Brothers. Do y'all know, do y'all know how intricate the designs are for Super Smash Brothers? Like, they really be making Mario's overalls look like Levi denim overalls. And that man ain't got no booty in that. So why y'all mad about
why y'all mad now?
I forgot about that, Ralph. I'm glad you brought that up. Because they was really upset that man ain't have 2 booty cheeks to his name in that poster.
Push those people to the side. Don't worry about them.
Like, if you come in to see a 2D animated characters, 3D animated characters, booty cheeks, I feel like you worried about the wrong thing.
They thinking Mario built like Yoichi or something. Like, leave him alone.
Like, if y'all want to go, the funniest thing ever is if they put Wario in this movie and they give Wario butt and they don't give Mario butt. That's gonna be funny.
That's gonna be funny.
Wario ain't have butt. He had belly.
He had butt. Every Wario, yes, because every Wario idol is him doing something with his butt.
Mm-hmm.
You right. When he'll do that fart move, he did have some cheeks. You right.
That's what I'm saying. Like every idol for Wario is something to do with his butt.
Yeah,
true.
He had cheeks.
I'm excited though. Like when they first announced this last year, the big thing was, why is Chris Pratt Mario? But I feel like, one, I don't like the way he sounds. But if you compare it to everything else that we saw, I can let it slide. Maybe. I could maybe let it slide.
I think if this movie is as good as this trailer looks, I'll forgive it. Because Bowser only goes, and we getting Jack Black voice, and I was comfortable.
But it fits though. Like when they announced Jack Black as Bowser, I was like, this fits. I'm with this.
But who would have fit as Mario? Like right now, like just give me an actor.
I can't. Like America, because this was the debate. This was the debate when they first announced that Chris Pratt was going to be Mario, and everybody was like, Chris Pratt, and I was like, but who else would you have chosen to voice
Probably
Mario?
Be from Jersey Shore.
And
yeah, buddy. Like what? Like who we gonna do, bro?
Let's be for real.
Let's be
for. You're being for real right now.
I'm saying, who else could we have picked? No, I'm saying there is no other option.
Gotcha. I thought that was your actual answer.
Oh,
to the question.
No.
I thought it was
I was making a joke. Because I was like...
I thought he was dead.
No, because I was like, what other Italians do we know, like, in pop culture? Like, all I can think of is Jersey Shore. I'm like, we ain't got no actors for Mario.
Nah, like... The only thing that I can give Chris Pratt this is that Chris Pratt has done voice acting for other movies on the scale. Like he was the main protagonist in the Lego movie. So he has the experience to do it. It's just that Chris Pratt being Super Mario is just wouldn't make sense in my head. It's like SpongeBob, Patrick, and the baby clown.
Why that comparison?
Real though. But moving into the next trailer, because I do want to get into this before we gotta go. I called it that the trailer that dropped this past Monday, October 3rd, was gonna be the ticket drop for Wakanda Forever. So the trailer that came out, some things that I noticed. One, they showed Ironheart in her full suit. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And to shut down all of the rumors, to shut down all of the conversation, we got a full look at the next Black Panther. And that's a lady, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't care which way you try to write it, which way you turn your screen, how many times you didn't watch that trailer. That's a lady in
that Panther has
that
some
Black
bosom.
Panther.
It did. It was a woman. Like, come on.
But why would you say it like that?
Mario have no booty. Wario has a booty. Yeah, that Panther has some bosom. Come on, bro. What? What's the difference?
It's the statement. It's the statement that Black Panther has some bosom. Say that. It's the statement.
I didn't want to say the more derogatory terminology. Is that what you're upset about?
Just say the Black Panther suit had feminine features, maybe.
If we can say Wario got some booty, I can't say the Panther had some bosom.
I'm just saying the way that it came out of your mouth, it wasn't appealing to my ears. But let's move past that, please. let's move past that, please. But there is a female, there is a woman in the Black Panther suit. My assumption is that it's Shuri.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a theory on Twitter that it could be multiple people, multiple females taking on this suit. Like, it could be 3. What it sounded like to me is that it is a possibility that there are going to be multiple Black Panthers in this movie.
When you say multiple Black Panthers, like different warriors and people are like putting on the suit, are you saying that Shuri's getting that second suit that Killmonger had? Like, what you?
It sounds like that we will have like the suit that we saw, then there's gonna be another one, and then there might be another one. Like,
interesting.
It's not it. The theory was that there's going to be multiple people taking on the suit.
So for
that
our
is
memory,
not going to be a straight down one person to one person.
From what?
Go ahead, Ralph.
From our memory, from trailer 1 to trailer 2, was it any differences that you even noticed from the difference in suits?
So from the first trailer, the first suit that we saw, it wasn't a lot of it, but it was a black suit and it had like gold accent in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a daytime setting. In this trailer, this suit is one in a nighttime setting. It was black. I think it had majority like silver accents. And then it had that purple kinetic stuff that we saw in Black Panther 1 in it. So it's possible that could have been 2 suits that we saw.
I will say this, for the people who are arguing about can't nobody be the new Black Panther because Chadwick did such a good job, versus the people who are like, we need a recast. I will say that this is a good solution to kind of postpone making an official new Black Panther if they do go that route. I could see how that's like neither of y'all necessarily get exactly what you want, but we give you a solid workaround so that y'all can be okay until the next movie. So I could see that theory. If that's what they decided on, I could see that working. I
think it would be dope because it depends. I could see it as them going the route of, Black Panther is not just this one person. Like, what he represents is not just one person.
Right.
And, the whole thing being Wakanda Forever, like, when you put this suit on, you are Wakanda. It's not just Black Panther, So I can see that. And I can see it being like you said, if this is true, that this would be a good compromise of who's going to solely be taking on the mantle as Black Panther. Like, we avoid that whole conflict that we had in Falcon and the Winter Soldier of who's going to be the next Captain America. Like, it's either going to be U.S. Agent or it's going to be Sam. Like, we had that whole conflict of one of the other. Like, this erases that whole conflict area if they do that.
It does. Because comic book lore wise, Shuri does become the Black Panther at some point, right?
Yep.
So, and if they don't immediately jump to that, this is a good. That theory got some oomph to it.
Yeah. And it really just goes into how they play it out as well, because Shuri is next in line to be Black Panther because she's next in line to the throne.
Facts.
Right.
So I wonder if it might be a thing like Shuri doesn't really want to take on the mantle, but somebody, has to put on the suit. or she doesn't want to be solely responsible for Wakanda, you know. So let's split it up, you know, that we're all Black Panthers in our own way. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. We will have to see. They also, with this trailer, they also officially announced that Namor is not the antagonist of this movie. So at this point, we don't know who's the antagonist of this movie.
So, huh? Is it America? Like, what?
I don't know. From what I can gather, it's basically like, you know, on one end, we did have that scene where some militia, I'm not going to say it's USA, some militia wants to use vibranium. Like, Black Chadwick's gone, T'Challa's gone. So now it's like, you know, the vibranium is up for grabs. But that doesn't necessarily make them the main antagonists either.
So
I'm interested to see how Namor gets involved to begin with. What's up, Ralph?
So what about
this movie? How
the
long
people
again?
that was over the Black Widows? Could it be them?
They gone.
They're gone. They're all gone.
About the Red Room?
Yeah. Are they all gone?
Well, the leader, Dreykov, is definitely dead because Natasha killed him in Black Widow. Like, they crashed that whole... When he was trying to escape in that helicopter and Yelena blew up that whole that man dead. And they freed all the other... Yelena's whole thing, if you remember from the Hawkeye series, was to go out and free the remaining widows. So, I wouldn't say the Red Room is involved in this at all.
My thinking cap is on. I'm trying to figure out.
Who was Killmonger work? Killmonger was completely independent, if I remember correctly from the original book.
Killmonger worked for himself. My theory on this is that however Namor gets involved, whoever is behind him getting involved is the antagonist of this movie.
Yeah, like it could have been Namor's original enemy, but now it's like,
or
the enemy of my enemy is my ally.
Somebody did something to get him involved, and it could have been like Wakandans versus Atlanteans, and then they realized like, yo, we got some misinformation, like, why we fighting each other, and it's this whole separate entity that's been like pinning them against each other the whole time while they scurry around the conflict and go get what they want.
Okay, let's get it popping.
I'm ready. I got my tickets. I'm ready.
I got mine too. Oh,
I still have to get mine. But what's crazy and what I've realized, people do not buy tickets to movies anymore.
Oh yeah, when Phoop said get your tickets, I was like, man, that whole theater was open for me.
It depends on the movie, to me, honestly. Because when I went to go buy my tickets for Wakanda Forever, that whole theater was empty. Mm-hmm. But when I went to go buy my tickets for Multiverse of Madness, I had to wait in line for 30 minutes on Fandango.
Yeah, and I wonder if the hype for this new phase of MCU movies has kind of died down because of the lackluster past phase. Because like right now, it's like we had the Avengers, like everybody was looking forward to the Avengers, and now that big bad is gone, and we've cycled through quite a bit of MCU movies, the hype could have died down. Maybe some folks are like,
it could.
If I see it, I see it.
It could be because of one, Wakanda Forever, T'Challa's gone. We already went through this whole uproar of how they were going to handle that. So, and then with Wakanda Forever being in like that sole black movie out of the whole MCU, like, look at Multiverse of Madness, who was casted in that, who was the selling point on that, and then look at Wakanda Forever. Like, and I'm not saying this because like one movie is gonna be better than the other. I think Wakanda Forever is gonna be damn good, but that's just something to think about too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
and
I'm
then
going to see
one, it's all like Wakanda's like straight up. This is the Black MCU movie, and they took away. I won't say take away. They're not recasting T'Challa, like the Black Panther, the first one. They're not recasting him, so then you lose that black male figure that probably would have brought everybody to buy their tickets. Like, let's. I'm asking the question. Let's think about it. If Chadwick hadn't passed, or if they had recasted T'Challa, them seats might have been sold out.
I ain't gonna lie, I would have bought my ticket quicker if T'Challa was still here.
And that's what I'm saying.
Still here. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm be real.
Like,
yeah.
I think some people might be hesitant because of the changes they had to make for Wakanda Forever. And some people could have completely lost interest because of the changes that they had to make in this movie.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But they did say that Wakanda Forever is going to directly tie into the storyline for Secret Invasion. So I would get my tickets if I was y'all.
All right.
We gonna see though. Mob review, Wakanda Forever. Catch us. Blerd Mob Podcast.
Don't forget Super Mario. We gotta see that. We gotta see that too.
We have to. But that's all the time we have for today. As always, I want to thank you both, Ryun and Ralph, for joining me on another episode of the Blerd Mob Podcast. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. Shout out to everybody who's been participating in our Versus Tuesday tournament. Make sure you keep up with the updates. Continue to vote. And then give us some feedback on how you feel this tournament is going. This is something completely new that we're doing as far as Versus Tuesday. So let us know if you're digging it or not. And with that being said, Ralph, lead us out.
All right. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Excuse me. They started itching. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok and Facebook at the Blerd Mob Podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at the Blerd Mob. And with that being said, peace.
Hands up if you loving where you at. Stand 10 toes down, shout ain't no looking mad. You can let them haters hate when they answer where I'm smiling. I just tell them life's great.